Now, in case you guys didn't know this, before a couple of years ago, rape was only a crime that applied to women. It was the carnal knowledge of a female without her consent. Now, in the United States, where I'm sitting, they changed the law to include other things, but it still does not include a woman forcing a man to have sex. Forced to penetrate is not considered to be rape. However, us normies, any definition that would include someone being forced to have sex against their will or without their consent, or with a fucking machete held to their throat, most of us would consider that to be rape. Wouldn't we? Well, we certainly would if it was a woman. But in this case, the victim is a dude. Caeruleus Valentinius, thanks to you for bringing my attention to this story. I remember this from last year. A woman in Montana is sentenced to 20 years. Not for rape, though, however. She gets 20 years for forcing her ex-boyfriend to have sex with a machete at his throat. Could you imagine the outrage if the Sun.co.uk wrote this story representing a female victim of a rapist as forcing her to have sex? Nowadays, looking at a woman wrong, or if you're not attracted enough for her, that's sexual assault. So can you imagine if the genders were reversed? He raped her using a machete as a weapon. Would there be any of this flowery language forcing him to have sex? No. In either case, the victim was raped. But that's not the way they're portraying that here in the Sun.co.uk. Of course not. Samantha Mears waited for the victim to return to his Great Falls, Montana home before placing a machete to his neck, according to police reports. Mears then forced her ex to have sex with her. Now, if this were reversed, would they say such things? He forced her to have sex? No. He raped her. She raped him, even though it is not legally rape. She wasn't charged with it. Following her arrest last summer, she was put in a nut house because she was unfit for trial. She apparently got better, and whatever. The victim claimed Mears ordered him onto the bed before asking him, maybe demanding. She's got a fucking machete, a little bit of force involved there possibly, before asking him to remove his clothes. Mears then climbed on top of him, the victim told police, and the pair engaged in intercourse. Can you imagine? If the Sun were talking about this and she was the rape victim. Oh, well, they had intercourse. No, he was raped. After the victim had blown his load, Mears then bit him on the left arm and continued to have sex with him, even when he didn't have wood. Continued to have sex with him. She continued to rape him. For fuck's sake. This woman got 20 years in the Supermax prison in Colorado for this crime. No. Come on now. She got 20 years in a mental hospital. So do I even need to go into the details here of why this story is so fucked up? Written from a perspective that men are always the perpetrators, women are always the victims. And when that's turned upside down, when in fact she took a knife to his throat and raped him. They can't say it. They don't come out and say she raped him with a knife. No. They had intercourse. Forced him to have sex. Isn't that rape? Yet the news media can't say that. Because that would paint him as a victim. Even though in this case he is. He was raped by this crazy person with a machete. If this crazy person happened to be a dude, and most certainly if she were the victim, It would be rape this and rape that and rape everything and rape, 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 rape. But in the case of a man being forced to have sex, else his throat gets cut by a machete, they were just having intercourse. Unfucking believable. Link below, James Maxwell. Thank you for listening.